What is the best way to start something? What is the best way to start something? Usually, as Muslims, we will say the best way to start something is Bismillah, right? So that makes sense, especially as Muslims. We start with Bismillah. There's so many benefits. I was on this call, I was training some Medina University students, and normally I tell people what the benefits are of saying Bismillah. But with these guys, because they're Medina University students, I told them, and they just started pounding me with all kinds of stuff and things I didn't even think about, right? But what if I came here and I was saying Bismillah to show off? Would you guys say that's the best way to start off? I just asked you, what is the best way to start? And you said Bismillah. But now you're saying, well, if I say Bismillah, intentions. Very good, yeah? Because the Prophet ﷺ said that actions are by intentions. So if I come here and I say, okay, I'm going to say Bismillah, and the reason I'm saying Bismillah is because I want to show off, I want to look religious, I want to look pious, I want to just make it out like I'm Muslim, then it's going to basically mess me up. So if it comes down to intentions, one thing you guys need to know is that you are not equal. You know, in the West especially, we have this thing where we're always told, oh, you're equal, you're equal, you're equal. You guys are not equal. Everyone sitting here today is going to get something different from today. And I'm talking about reward, I'm talking about benefit, all of this stuff. And a lot of this is to do with your intention. So when you are coming down to your intention, what can you guys tell me about intention to help me? Like imagine I'm a child, I'm a kid, I don't know anything about intentions at all. What kind of advice would you give me for my intentions? There's two main things I'm looking for to do with intentions. So as Muslims, we would say that one of the first things is, you know, there's that Nike thing. What's the Nike thing? Just do it. Yeah, so for us, we don't want to just do it, right? We want to do it for Allah. This has like many connotations, doing it for Allah, right? Like you want to do the right thing, you want to do it for the sake of Allah, you want to make sure that you're connected, you're doing something that's pleasing to Allah, all of this stuff. And there's a lot of benefits that come with doing something for Allah. There's psychological benefits in terms of your belief, there's benefits in terms of your heart, there's benefits in terms of actually getting Allah's help, all of these things, right? What's the second thing you should do with your intentions? So for example, I might have told some of you guys about Roger Bannister. Anyone know who Roger Bannister is? No? So throughout whole of history, people thought it was impossible to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. So you imagine from the time of history till today, no one has ever run a 4-minute mile. Never been recorded, never been seen, never been done. People said it is impossible, right? Because what happened is this guy, he actually broke the record and he ran a 4-minute mile. But if he had that target of no one can do it, maybe his mindset would be different, right? Now, one of the most amazing things about this story is that when he did the 4-minute mile, within a few months, 5, 6, 7 other people, they all did it as well. Why? How come? They realized it's possible, right? So what we're saying is that when we're making our intentions, I would actually say you should make your intentions huge. You should make them really, really big. Any idea why? Why should we make our intentions really, really big? You can achieve it, right? You can achieve it if it's really huge. So that's one reason. What else? So obviously there's that whole thing where like you aim high, right? But there's also another thing. Like imagine that I have a sincere intention to guide one person to Islam. And then I start acting upon that. Imagine I don't achieve that. I still get reward, right? But if I have the intention to guide 100 people to Islam, then I get the reward for 100. So intention is one of those things that you can actually change your reward without doing anything. You know, everything else, if you want to change your reward, you have to like actually do something, right? Okay, I lifted 5 bags instead of 6 bags. I lifted 8 bags. I did this, I did that. But with intention, you can just sit there and you can just increase your reward. So when you guys are thinking about yourself and you're thinking about all the things you want to achieve today, the things that you want to build, the things you want to grow for yourself to help others, all of this stuff, I want you to think about how big is your intention? How big is it? Is your intention limited to you? Is it limited to maybe your family, your community? How far? We started Al-Maghrib in the UK. When we started, bro, we sat down in a room. It was me, it was Asad, it was Mohsin, Warsami, and Uthman. And we sat in that room, 5 of us. And I'm telling you, every person had a different intention. Someone might have said, I'm here because Assad asked me to come. Someone else is here because, they thought I want to do some dawah work. Someone else was here because maybe they wanted to change the country. Maybe someone was there to change the world. So every person that sat there in that room, they all had different intentions. And the bigger you make your intentions, you don't lose anything by making it big, right? If I make a really huge intention, I'm going to do this, like I'm going to guide 1,000 people to Islam, for example, and I don't hit it, is there a negative thing to that? You might say there's disappointment. You get disappointed, but you still get the reward for 1,000. So in the end, you won't be disappointed, right? So what I want to ask you is, how big do you guys think your actual intention is? Like, do you think the intention you have in your mind right now, whether it's for this year or 10 years or your life, do you feel your intentions are big enough? Does anyone here feel like, yes, they are? So we need to raise the bar. We need to go much bigger with our intentions, because your intentions are not only going to affect your reward, but it's going to affect your reality as well. And I want to give you an example of this thing that they're doing. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Okay. So there's like a mountain, and in the mountain, they are building something. Your friend Jeff Bezos is building something. You guys know what he's building? What is he building?
Big Ben.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you saw a Big Ben there. So he is building something called the 10,000 year clock. Okay, so this is a concept that was made in the 80s by one designer. And what he said is he wants to build a clock which will last 10,000 years. And so what they're doing is they're building it in a mountain, right? And they said every year it's gonna, I think it's gonna like tick once a year. And then they said every 100 years it's gonna chime. And then every 1,000 years, you have a cuckoo that comes out. That's gonna come out every 1,000 years. And the reason they're building this is because the guy who had the idea, he said, I want to promote long-term thinking. So I'm saying to you guys, and I say this a lot to people that are building organizations, that when you start something like a charity, when you start a project, in your mind you're thinking, yeah, like I want to do this, I want to do it now. And then you're thinking, yeah, by the end of the year I want to be here. And then you're thinking, yeah, you know what, in a few years it'd be nice to be here. But the conversation changes when I say to you, okay, make this thing last 1,000 years. Like imagine I said, your project, you have to make it last 1,000 years. Think about what would happen in your mind. If I said, bro, 1,000 years from now, you guys have to be still doing this work. Like what would you have to do now? How does your mind start thinking now? It changes, right? As opposed to me, the project I'm going to do this year, I'm going to try and get to this, I'm going to try and get to that. So one of the main things that you want to get is that when we're talking about this stuff, you don't want to just elevate the work that you're doing, your productivity. You want to elevate the start of that, which is your intention. And you want to have that long-term thinking for the things that you're doing in the future, inshallah.